Hi everyone, this is going to be a sketchbook tour. I haven't done one of these in a while, uh, but yeah, uh, I think I started this one possibly a couple months ago, maybe 3 or 4. Uh, it's a moleskin, so this is the first time using one of these and I really liked it. So I've bought a couple more as well, so those will be filled out very soon. Yeah, so let's get started. First page is a Mario sketch. I didn't really like this one, but it's basically the idea of uh, Mario squeezing the star and kind of gaining its power, but in like a cool way. I test out this idea a few times, but this was kind of my first like trying to do it proper as a drawing. Next page. So this is I was trying to do it freehand, so I was just doing some characters with like cow heads. I like the way when I draw cows, the ink of the black spots comes out. So yeah, I was just testing the idea. Then I just freehanded some bodies on them. Try to do that Mario idea again here, but again I didn't really like the way it turned out. But again, it was more freehand. I didn't really have any under sketch drawings, so I just went in. But I did like the way, I guess, I could tell that some rain is falling on him, or some water has come from above. This one I'm trying to depict an idea that I drew in another sketchbook, but kind of failed out. But again, this is me just testing out a few ideas first. I didn't know how I wanted the sketchbook to turn out, but I think in the later pages I definitely get a handle on it. I just finished watching the It show, Welcome to Dairy, and I had the idea that, you know, Pennywise was sitting on a throne full of skulls and dead bodies. Again, I overextended myself. I thought I had an idea, but I didn't really know how much time it would take to execute it, so I kind of just left it. But I probably won't even come back to it, to be honest. These ones, I think I started to get a hang of how I wanted to use the sketchbook. So this first one, again, I think I started off with the hands. I knew I wanted it to be a perspective kind of drawing, but then I started adding the body, then I added the head. I went with it ended up turning into another Mario drawing, so again with the star in the middle, and then I kind of used my own style when it came to the face, so yeah, I really like that. This one is Santa. I had a few Santa drawings that I was trying to test out over the Christmas time. I ended up with Santa as a kind of samurai figure. He's flicking a coin and he has in his hand a bunny. I was just trying to mix up any ideas. So I think the bunny just comes from Easter, so it's kind of like mixing up the holidays. Then I have another Santa drawing. I had inspiration from something I found on Instagram where they were kind of there was detectives of some sort, so I was like, oh, let me see if I can transfer this idea to Santa and the Grinch. Then I really like drawing mecha stuff, so I was like, how do I kind of get better at depicting them just on a page without needing a bunch of other references. So I've had this kind of character in my head for a while, but I just wanted to add like a mech body, and I really liked the way this one turned out. Then I was trying to see if it was replicable, so I attempted it again, but kind of failed a bit, so I just left it there. This idea was something I've been thinking about for a long time. I don't know how to execute it, but it's just Naruto and B, you know, it's kind of an extension of that relationship they had. So it kind of turned Naruto into like a hip hop, you know, influence kind of character, but it wasn't really explored that much. And I was kind of like, what would happen if he was fully influenced by B, and how would he act? So that's kind of where I came up with this like "dap me up," you know, phrase. And it's something I want to probably do a couple more times just to explore. Again, going back to Mecha, really like this character, how it turned out. I didn't really plan it too much, just went in with some under sketch drawings with a pencil and then just tried to ink it, keeping it free flow, and didn't want to, you know, overcomplicate it. This drawing here, really like. It's basically, I think, the first time in a very long time where it's just a mecha drawing, characters are inked well, you know, shaded well, characters look good essentially, and I really liked it, especially with adding these watercolor bits to it with some color. I'm heavily influenced by Karl Kopinski, and I remember back in the day I was looking at a lot of his mecha drawings, and I was like, damn, I really want to be able to do that, you know, without having to keep looking at references. So did a few thumbnails, put them onto one page, and yeah, they turned out well. Of course, once I do it once, I have to do it twice to see if it was a fluke or if I actually can do this again. So I tried it out. It looked a bit too chunky for my liking, but you know, I was still happy with the overall result. And then I was like, you know what, let me add a backstory, see what I can do there. The backstory I had here is, I guess he's like a boss of some sort, gangster, and he's hired this particular mecha character to protect him. And then this character's like, yo, why did you bring him? And he's like, well, I paid good money, so he's got to come with me wherever I go. And again, that's a character I was trying to explore a bit more, which we'll probably see later on. This one, didn't really like too much. I think I messed it up on the faces, the composition. Didn't really know what was going on, but what I was trying to do is basically, I know I can kind of draw clothes when I focus, but I was like, I don't really, because I focus so much on just making things look cool, do I actually know the fundamentals? Can I actually just draw clothes? And this was me trying to test it out, and it didn't turn out the way I liked, so I was like, okay, let's go back to square one and start practicing clothes again so that I can get to a good level. And that's where these pages come from. So I started with the clothes, which I really like. I was practicing. Then, using ideas from previous pages, I was like, okay, let's add some mecha characters. Again, there's the boss. He's got his kind of goons there, and then in the back are his soldiers, his mech soldiers. Something I want to explore again, but you know, these take time, and I still wanted to focus on like just getting ideas down quickly, you know, and making good art. And then, so kind of a reoccurring theme is drawing myself in these kind of books, but I also like the idea that it's like me from, you know, different versions of myself just fighting each other. the goal is to be able to, if I can draw myself whenever I want, I can probably draw any anatomy essentially. So I was focusing on getting my likeness and like just body structure, and then transferring it to kind of other things. So you'll see that a few times. You'll see here, this is me. I drawn this before in another sketchbook, but then I copied it down without using any underdrawings, but straight into ink, and I really like the way that turns out. So something that I've tried more in other pages. Not everything has to be good, but this is just me drawing some suit characters again. I wanted to see if I can just do it freehand, just go in, draw suit. I wanted to be able to create a page basically of just suits and people so that I can get better observational drawing. Didn't really like the way these turned out, but it was also more of a learning experience than it was making sure that they'd all look good. Yeah. This was a bit of a just scribble page. I think I started over here with some kind of sword fighting perspective type things, and then I just started building from there, just scribbling down, seeing what looked good. But yeah, it was just me having fun with it. And then I kind of had a realization, like, I keep drawing complicated things, and when I draw complicated, I have to keep thinking. It kind of just ruins the whole process. So it's like, okay, let's take a step back. Let's go for simple things. The face, I don't need to keep putting detail in. Let's just go with like a big nose, round face, little detail, and then work from there. So I kind of like this page for that. And then I'm going to see how many pages. I'll just do this till then. So yeah, this one I really liked. It's a bunch of dogs. It's kind of like a better version of this page that I did before, but it's just a dogs coming from like a point in the background. It's kind of explosive, ink everywhere, which is kind of what I had in my mind, which is something I want to do a few more times. It's just a really good stylized way of drawing dogs essentially. And I tried to do the Mech boss thing again. Didn't really like the way this came out. The perspective was all wrong, but you know, it's an idea is an idea, and it's there to kind of improve on for next time. But then I saw, obviously, Invincible. I saw Dragging like a Instagram post or something, and I was like, this looks like a really cool character to draw. So I used the Hulk reference for the body, inked it, and then coloured it with using some alcohol markers. And yeah, I really like the way these ones turned out. And then I'll just stop here. This will be, because I kind of split these into chapters, but this last page from this particular chapter is it's basically an alien. People are attacking it. I found it kind of funny that, you know, I think I was watching something whereby maybe it was a Simpsons episode where Burns was thought to be an alien, and people went from loving him to wanting to kill him in like an instant, and I found that really funny. So it's just them finding that alien and being like, oh, I'm going to drink his blood, I'm going to kill him, and the alien just being like, yeah, I'm not that kind of alien, I don't have powers. I've just found that concept really funny. Yeah, so that is the first chapter of this particular sketchbook. Hope you liked it, and I'll probably do the other ones in another video. Thanks for watching.